Hello, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to the Farmborough Community Shop share offer, explaining where we are to date, what we are intending to do, how it will be financed, and why. First, let me introduce the Management Committee. I am Mark Swaby, the Chairman. I have been a resident of Farmborough for nearly 30 years, and you may well have seen me involved in a number of village activities during that time. Phil Gray is our Treasurer and Sam Ross is our Secretary. As I'm sure you are aware, they have been involved in a great number of village activities and events since they arrived in Farmborough 14 years ago. Valerie Webster is another village resident who has experience of running these type of shops, and so is invaluable in being able to tell us what works and what doesn't. She also doesn't have transport, and so fully understands the problems many villagers have in getting to the shops using public transport. We would very much welcome more people on the committee, as this will make it easier for everyone. However, as you will see, we have got quite a lot done so far. By the way, if you have any questions, please do contact any of us and ask. We will do our best to answer you promptly. So the story so far. In 2010, the last Farmborough village shop sadly closed. A survey of the villagers in 2011, which got an excellent 60% response, showed 90% of respondees supported and were interested in having a new community shop. As a result, the Management Committee was formed and started the search for a suitable village location. Unfortunately, no suitable buildings were available for use, and so the search then switched to finding suitable land where a shop could be built. This resulted in the selection of the land behind the Memorial Hall. It is owned by the parish council, and so we gained agreement to use this land with the council by the end of 2012. In 2013 we joined the Plunkett Foundation. They are a charitable organisation that helps rural community ventures set up and operate. They have a great fund of knowledge and experience of setting up community shops, and have proved invaluable in guiding us through the set-up process over the last 2 years. We needed to set this venture up as a business if we were to attract funds and properly manage the shop development and operation. So we set up Farmborough Community Shop Limited as a registered society for the benefit of the community, effectively a cooperative. This would allow you to become a member by investing in the shop and give you visibility of how the shop is developed and run. You could then vote on any changes. This year we have engaged the Nash Partnership as the architects who could help us build the shop. They were recommended to us as being particularly suited to this type of development and have proved to be very useful in extracting the shop building requirements from us and conducting a very informative feasibility study that addressed the key issues and showed how they could be addressed. In parallel, we developed the business plan and then the prospectus. We needed a common understanding between the parish council, the memorial committee and the shop management committee of how we could work together and share the facilities around the Memorial Hall. And so a heads of agreement was produced between us. This is basically a statement of what we have agreed and forms the basis for any subsequent legal documents, for example leases. It is mercifully brief at 6 pages and very readable. Do check it out if you have any concerns. We also completed VAT registration, so that we could reclaim any VAT expenditure during development, and to be ready to switch to a retail scheme once the shop is running. We approached the taxman, HMRC, applying for advance approval of this share offer for SEIS, Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme. The point of this is to give you the best tax relief for investing in the shop, and I will explain more about that in a bit later. We asked the architects to produce some sketches to show what the shop could look like. Have a look at these on our website. We also asked them to start collecting the material for a planning pre-application meeting with Bath planning authorities. And finally, after extensive checking by lawyers, we launched the share offer. So what happens next? We will have a meeting with Bath Planning to discuss the outline plan and resolve any issues, so that our full planning application addresses all of their issues. Site surveys will be needed as the basis for detailed plans, which will then be produced for the full planning application. We will then apply for, and hopefully gain, planning permission. This will lead to detailed plans and specifications, then appropriate contractor selections, and then the build. Our aim for the shops includes a working life of at least 50 years, attractiveness and low maintenance. So this means good quality materials and construction, using professionals and professional project management. Then comes the shop fit out and recruiting a shop manager. It is vital that we have a professional shop manager who is responsible for running the shop and who can train, manage and guide the volunteers staffing the shop. Finally, stocking the shop, volunteer recruitment, training and development of rotas will be needed, followed by the shop opening for business. The earliest that this could happen is 2016. The more investment we receive, the earlier it can open. But it will only open if there's enough investment and support from within the community. So we need your help. The total cost appears daunting at first, but this is why we have a plan. The figure includes the building, fit out and stocking of the shop, and we have probably been a little pessimistic, so should be able to do it for less. The share offer target is 150,000. If we can get near that, we believe we can raise the rest through grants and charity funds, which will often match the sum that we have raised. Also through donations, and as a last resort, through loans. We are trying to avoid any loans and mortgages, since we want to give the shop the best possible start to make it successful, by minimising its overheads and letting it start debt-free. The shop will benefit the community, but only if the community helps it to get up and running. The community isn't some abstract concept. It's you, me, our friends and our neighbours. So we all need to pull together to make it happen. Let's face it, this is the biggest community development in Farmborough since the construction of the Memorial Hall. So we can all achieve a great step forward for Farmborough if we work together as a community. Being a member of the shop will allow you to have a say on how the shop develops and how it is run. Please note that voting is dependent on owning shares, but is not dependent on the number of shares that you own. It is strictly one person, one vote. How much can you invest? Well, you can buy a single share for £10. The maximum number of shares you could buy is 2,000 for £20,000. But here's the interesting bit. If you are a UK taxpayer, we have arranged with HMRC, using the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme, for you to be able to get 50% tax relief. How does this work? Well, if we take the example shown, you invest £2,000. That means that you can then reclaim tax relief of £1,000 from the government. That means that you've only had to spend £1,000. However, it means that we, on the shop side, have the use of the £2,000. So that's good value for everybody. Look at it another way. Your investment, your net investment of £1,000, spread over 10 years, means that actually you're paying just £100 a year for having a shop in the village. Now that's probably less than the fuel that you'd have used to shop elsewhere. Remember, the more local investment that is raised, the quicker the shop can be built and opened. community shop offers far more than just a place to get the staples. In addition to offering the standard fare, it can offer a meeting place, a place to get coffee and see what is going on, a place to get local produce, possibly locally produced frozen meals, a collection and distribution point, local deliveries for residents who have difficulty getting out, even an opportunity for village youth training. It can offer a welcoming place to walk to, rather than having to use the car. All of that would make Farmborough a more desirable place to live. Can it work? Well, yes it can, and we've got good evidence for this. Over 300 community shops have opened in the UK in the last few years. Only 15 have ever closed. That's a 95% survival rate. Now you can compare that to UK small businesses, which have an estimated 45% survival rate over 5 years. We have taken advice from the Plunkett Foundation to ensure that we are doing things sensibly and following a sensible, well-proven model. We have carefully developed our business plan using the feedback from the local surveys which you contributed to, using the demographics and the experiences of other community shops that we have visited, talked to, and that have been incredibly helpful in trying to help us on this path. So yes, it will work, but it will only work if you support it. So we need your help. We need your investment. So to ensure that both you and the community get the full benefit, please invest in the Farmborough Community Shop. Together, we can make it happen, and hopefully get a lot of enjoyment out of it as well. Thank you very much.